All right, Shalom. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. That belongs to our apostles and elders, a great millstone who does lead and rule well. Salutations and Shalom to all you hopeful elect Akim pushing out this word in sincerity and in truth throughout the four corners of the earth. And sincere Shalom also to all you Akim and Aqua for listening and learning and preparing yourselves here in these last days. All right, and to the entire household of faith, fighting this good fight of faith, I want to say Shalom. This is your brother Dequar from the DC camp. Come back at you with another lesson, and I'm entitled this one, Trust in the Lot That Was Drawn of the Lord. All right, now, if you go into the scriptures and then pretty much like the ancient times, our people, we dealt with casting of lots, and that was just a method that they used back in those times to seek the Lord's guidance, his divine guidance in certain situations when, you couldn't pretty much figure it out on your own. And pretty much to make certain decisions, man, and those decisions was wide ranging. Whether it's disputes, divisions of lands, allocations of responsibilities, different, like one of them, pretty much like responsibilities in the church, or just trying to discern the Lord's will in certain matters, man. All right, and we are to trust in it now. When we kind of practice some of the similar things now, and we should trust in that, trust in the Lord's will to find those. So I'm gonna get a few of these scriptures in Lord's will. It may be edifying. Let me get a few examples. So first, I want to get to Proverbs. Yeah, this is Proverbs 16. Let me move this down. This is Proverbs 16 and verse 33. It says, the lot is cast into the lap, but the whole disposing thereof is of the Lord. All right, so let me get a Bible comparison. Okay. You see where it says disposing means decision, right? The CSB, it says the lot is cast into the lap, but it's every decision is from the Lord. All right. Same thing it says that in NIV. The NLT says we may throw the dice, but the Lord determines how they fall. So it's not like just a random gambling. We're not just leaving it up to chance. We're putting it into the Lord's hands. He is actually the one. When you have faith in that the Lord is really in control, he is he's a omnipotent power. All right. He really controls everything, man. So he also controls what seems on the surface to be gambling, but he controls these different things. Now they call it. Let me go to it real quick. What they call it is Romancy, if I'm saying that correctly, and it says a form of lot casting akin to divination with dice, but simply using pebbles or other odd objects, often of different colors instead of marked cubes. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a form of sortation in which, right here, Cleromancy is a form of sortation in which an outcome is determined by means that normally would be considered random, such as the rolling of dice, but that are sometimes believed to reveal the will of a deity. Okay, so we just putting it into the Lord's hands at that point. All right, now you look up the word sortation. It says in governance, sortation is the selection of public officials or jurors using random representative samples. It says this minimizes factionalism since those selected to serve can prioritize deliberating, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's all I wanted right there. Okay. And then I'm going to get a few examples. Go back to the scripts. So we understand that is of the Lord. All right. So now, let me get. I'll get another one since I'm in Proverbs. This is Proverbs 18. This Proverbs 18 and verse 18. It says, the lot causeth contentions to cease, and parteth between the mighty. Okay? It says, well, yeah, that's all. I was gonna read verse 19, but it's cool. But essentially, it says it causes contentions to cease, man. So if you're having a hard time trying to make a decision on that, well, you put it in the Lord's hands, and that should end that debate. It should end that contention within each other, man. You know? And it causes like, okay, hey, the Lord made that decision. It's not just made of us or made of man. All right? So, like I said, ultimately, the Lord is the one that's making these decisions, man. You know? He's determining the outcome of these results. All right? Now, like I said, I brought examples earlier where we use that to the allocation of land. So I'm going to get that. Joshua 18, when they was dividing the land, when we was going to the promised land. I think it's, yeah. This is Joshua 18, verse 6. It says, ye shall therefore describe the land into 7 parts, and bring the description hither to me, that I may cast lots for you here before Yahweh our power. So again, it's before the Lord, you know. And in that verse, pretty much Joshua he instructing Israel to use the casting of lots to determine the distribution of the land, man, among the tribes. I'm covering the thing. So that's an example of them trusting the Lord's guidance in these matters, man. All right, and another one that comes to mind is who was going to be the disciple, right? After Judas was gone. So this is in the book of Acts. I believe it's the first chapter. Let me see. Check my note. Yeah. Yep. Okay. This is Acts 1 verse 24. It says, and they prayed and said, thou, Lord, which knowest the hearts of all men, show whether of these two thou hast chosen. So it was between Joseph, called Barsabas, and then you had who's named Justus and Matthias. All right, and so they was trying to determine between those two to see who would be one of the disciples of the Lord to replace Judas. All right, it says, and they prayed and said, thou, Lord, which knowest the hearts of all men, show whether of these two thou hast chosen, that he may take part of this ministry and apostleship, from which Judas by transgression fell, that he might go to his own place. And they gave forth their lots, and the lot fell upon Matthias, and he was numbered with the 11 apostles. All right, so again, it's not just leaving it up to random chance. It's putting it in the Lord's hands. All right, and the lot fell on Matthias, and if there was any contentions among them, it was ceased because we know it came from the Lord. All right. And another time that I remember the book of Jonah. What the hell? When they had casted a lot to see who was the the cause of all those storms. Let me see where I want to start. I'm going to start right here. And this is because of Jonah's disobedience, right? It says, I'm going to start right here. This is Jonah 1 verse 4. It says, but Yahweh sent out a great wind into the sea, and there was a mighty tempest in the sea, so that the ship was like to be broken. Then the mariners were afraid, and cried every man to his God, and cast forth, because they wasn't Israelites, you know. So like it says, and cast forth the wares that were in the ship into the sea to lighten it of them. But Jonah was gone down into the sides of the ship, and he lay and was fast asleep. So he was sitting here asleep while all this was happening. It says, so the shipmaster came to him and said unto him, what meanest thou, O sleeper? Arise, call upon thy power. If so be that the Most High will think upon us, that we perish not. And then it says, and they said, every one to his fellow, come and let us cast lots, that we may know for whose cause this evil is upon us. So they cast lots, and it fell upon Jonah. All right, then said they unto him, tell us, we pray thee, for whose cause this evil is upon us. What is thine occupation, and whence comest thou? What is thy country, and of what people art thou? And he said unto them, I am a Hebrew, and I fear Yahweh, the power of heaven, which have made the sea and the dry land. Then were the men exceedingly afraid, and said unto him, why hast thou done this? For the men knew that he fled from the presence of Yahweh, because he had told them. Then said they unto him, what shall we do unto thee, that the sea may be calm unto us? For the sea wrought and was tempestuous. Salakia. It says, and he said unto them, take me up and cast me forth into the sea, so shall the sea be calm unto you. For I know that for my sake this great tempest is upon you. And then when he did it, the sea was calm, man. When they did it, it ceased from their raging, it says, right? And look, all of that was prepared of the Lord, man, because now you had Jonah in the belly the fish for 3 days and 3 nights, and that fulfilled it was a prophecy, man. So those things had to happen that way, but it's just showing you that the Lord was in control, and then they casted lots and it landed upon him. So it's not by accident, man. And it was like I said, even when it goes into like the ranking or what position you're gonna be in the church, a lot of it's for order's sake, but it's also of the Lord. Like I like to say, when we awoke in this truth, it was all the lot of the Lord, man. The Lord is pretty much, he has all of us in a certain lot. So I'm gonna close on this one. Where is it? Daniel 12 and verse right at the end. It's the last book. Last book in Daniel. It says, Daniel 12 verse 13, it says, but go thy way till the end be, for thou shalt find rest, and stand in thy lot at the end of days. Okay? And then, so he's pretty much telling Daniel to go to, continue on what is, life, find rest. And then you're going to stand in your lot in the end of the days. Just like the scriptures say that the spirit of the prophets is subject unto the prophets. It's the same thing with that. When we coming back in this time, we coming back in our own lots. All right. And when I looked it up, it says the term lot can have different meanings in the Bible. It often refers to an assigned portion or an inheritance or destiny. All right, let's see what it says. Lot. Pebbles used for systematically making decisions. A portion. Lot, portion, thing assigned by casting lot. Recompense or retribution. Let me see what it says for this one. So I always go into the Strongs, and you could just straight up press it. You see it's written in it twice, and it'll let you know where it was attributed to. Or just saying straight up lot again. Let me see the other one. But I use that a lot. You see that? Daniel 12:13 right here. Of allocation portion. A share. All right? And so that makes me think of Second Corinthians. No, it might be First Corinthians. First Corinthians. Here we go. The order of resurrection. All right. This is 1 Corinthians 15, verse 20. It says, "But now is Hamashiach risen from the dead and become the first fruits of them that slept. For since by man came death, by man came also the resurrection of the dead. For as in Adam all die, even so in Hamashiach shall all be made alive. But every man in his order." See that? Hamashiach, the first fruits. Afterward, they that are Hamashiach's at his coming. All right. So even even the order that we have now may not be it when the Lord comes, but as of right now, the time we woke up, or in the spirit, certain things may change. It's still all of the Lord, man. So it goes back to the title, trusting in the lot, trusting in the lot that's drawn to the Lord, man. Trusting in the leadership that's been put in place, and trusting in their decisions. If they make decisions by casting lots, you just gotta trust in that. Trust that the Lord, it will be the one that is the one that's making these decisions. And if it's to change, he will change it. All right. But just showing you how this practice was used in the ancient world and how it can be applied unto today, and in many different ways, but it's ultimately the Lord's will. So casting, like the picture says, casting lots to find the Most High's will. And you just trust in that, and keep doing your job until the Lord returns. So with that, Lord willing, I was edifying to the next lesson. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kadash. I want to say Shalom.